Hello to this week's paint along. We are gonna continue on with the highlights, and we're gonna do the skin, especially because right now the skin just looks really weird because of that shadow color. So we're gonna go ahead and get that highlighted. So you really can do this in any order you want once you get when you're doing this stage. So that's really just the reason why I want to do it, because it just looks weird. Doesn't look like skin. You're gonna look again. That is fourth. So got a little bit too much paint on here, on there. So if you haven't seen me do that before, you just quickly fill your brush with water before the paint has a chance to dry. You take another brush that is probably or hopefully drier and kind of wipe it away. With the way that came off, I think I'm going to go ahead and actually thin my paints down just a little bit more. So again, mixing up the highlight. So you want the color of your light source, the main color. Like, yes, maybe there's orange in this torch to kind of help accent the piece more. And in real fire, you do have that orange and yellow and sometimes red. But you want to think about what's the main color that's going to be actually lighting up things. So with this, we're going to look at Candlelight Yellow, which is what I used for the yellow part. And you want to look at kind of what things are actually going to be hit by the torchlight. So in this case, we're doing all the skin, so we need to look at what skin is actually going to get hit. So obviously the top of this hand is going to get hit. We can see just a little bit of the nose. Here, I'll turn it. A little bit of the nose is going to get hit, as well as this other hand. Just kind of a little bit right here up top. However, that hand, and even the nose, it's not going to be highlighted up as much as this hand will be, because light diffuses as it gets further away from the light source, which just means that it gets less strong. I am starting off with, so I mentioned Candlelight Yellow is what we'll use to mix in all of the highlights. Now for the skin, I know it's purple right now. but I'm actually going for tanned skin. I used the Tanned Shadow in Reaper's Tan Skin Triad. And yes, it will look weird as we progress, and that's, I mean, really, that's just kind of any paint job, is the in progress looks weird. So this is the first highlight. It's the so I used Tan Shadow in the shadows mixed with the complementary of Candlelight Yellow. You can go back to previous videos. I did actually, the very first video of this was just all about the shadows. So when you go and mix highlights, you want to take what you would normally use to highlight the color you used for the shadows, or at least the color would use as the, like, maybe the highest highlight, or at least one of the highest highlights, which is pretty easy with the Tanned Skin Triad. Just pick out tanned highlight, which is exactly what I did. So this is that first go around that I did was 4 drops of Tanned Skin Highlight. And then a small drop of Candlelight Yellow. I can show you actually. So here's the palette. So tan skin, highlight, 4 drops of it with some Candlelight Yellow. And this, it's about 50-50, 2 drops of each. This one we've got just 1 drop of the tanned highlight. Get the numbers more in view for you. And then 3 drops of Candlelight, and this is just all Candlelight Yellow. This last one. But yeah, it's Candlelight Yellow and mixed in with tan highlight. Changes it pretty quick, but as you can see, it actually doesn't look as weird as it does on the palette, just because you're building up. Plus on the palette you don't have a torch for reference. And you just follow the same guidelines you would do for highlighting. So this is now the 3rd highlight, and you do less and less highlights the further away it is. So I did only the very first round of highlights. And of course, you know, when you do that highest highlight on hands or skin, specifically the hands, you just basically only do it on the knuckles. So those are the parts of the hand that are gonna catch the light. And there we go. That last one right there was just Candlelight Yellow. And you can see how actually, like, looks pretty normal when it's in relation to this torch. Works really well for the illusion. And I I am going to take the highlights on this hair just a tiny bit further because I held back a little bit. But I think especially right here along this band, it would get that Candlelight Yellow. It's close enough that it would get a little bit stronger. There we go. Even from that angle, already looks really good. So that'll be about it then for the skin, actually. And when you line it up kind of like that, we got the dark shadows, and then this side we got things lit up. Now it is tempting to light up this side of the face, but it's kind of it pushing it. The nose itself is pushing it. I don't know. Let's see. Because like we've got hair here that is actually kind of coming down in the way. So here, so you can see the brush itself is hitting. You could maybe push it and say that her cheek would get maybe hit. It's kind of really close to tell. I might go ahead and just do that very first highlight and see how it looks. But I will just say kind of pushing the rules a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure it looks very good. I could go up one more. So yeah, I think this may be a case where breaking the rule is not turning out something that looks good. I don't think. So we'll come back. I'll probably just maybe paint back over it with the shadow color, just this part. The nose, I think, is right. It'll just still look kind of weird. The skin itself will still look a little weird. But again, that's just, part of being an in-progress mini that's being painted. So yeah, there we go. Skin is highlighted. So I will see you next week. Have a good week. Bye.